You know, I just got back from Las Vegas, and it was really interesting. I was reading an article about why Atlantic City hasn't become as successful as Las Vegas, and it actually has a lot to do with the different types of tax laws, due to the fact that Nevada really has a much more...
David, look at the time. It's... The Chainsaw Minute!
I'm David, and this is your weekly dose of Chainsaw Man. Listeners, just a reminder, at the end of June, we are taking the Chainsaw Minute off of the Shonen Flop feed. You will be able to find it on its own feed. You can find it at Chainsaw Minute, wherever you get your podcast, or you can find the RSS feed at csm.libsyn.com. That's LIBYSON.com. So don't worry, we're not going anywhere except for the fact that we are going somewhere, so you should move on to there. That made more sense before I started talking.
Yes, indeed.
You can join us every Friday where we see what masterpiece Fujimoto put out.
I'm Jordan, and if you're looking for regular Shonen Flop goodness, you can find our next episode to hear our full thoughts on Mama Yu Yu featuring the series' official translator, David Evelyn, this Monday.
That was a fucking mega episode.
Oh, it was so good.
It was an hour and 45 minutes of raw audio. I've gotten it down to an hour and 10 minutes. So we will see what the final count is. Maybe it won't be a stupidly long episode when I'm done with it. I am trying my best.
Well, you know what, David? I like long podcasts. So if it is, that's okay.
Yeah. So anyway, just a reminder, these recordings are open to everyone to listen and chat along with us on the Shonen Flop Discord every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern when there's a new chapter out. Find a link to it in the show notes or on our site. And Jordan, what was your devil this week?
The migraine devil. You see, David, I had my first migraine with an aura yesterday. So here's the thing. I was just sitting there when I noticed, weird, there's like this curvature, like this backwards C shape almost. And it's like filled with like these like geometric lines that are multicolored. And it's just kind of blocking things in my vision.
That is crazy.
So I brought it up and Steph's mom was like, oh, that's an aura. You have a migraine. So that was fun. You know, I will say I've had worse headaches, but it's still lingering into today, which headaches don't usually do.
I'm really sorry to hear that, my friend.
Yeah, it sucked. How about you, David? What's your devil?
Party devil. I was just in Las Vegas, as I alluded to at the start. Partied hard. I had a 8 a.m. flight, which meant I was getting up at 6 a.m. the last day of the bachelor party. And for some reason, I stayed up till 2 a.m. so I could go to Taco Bell with the boys. So that was really great.
I feel like every devil that David has said is, yeah, I went to a bachelor party. Yeah, I went to another party. Oh, man, I had like so many parties. I have so many friends, you know? And it's just like, God, David, like, how do you have all these friends and do a manga podcast?
I don't know. Honestly, actually, I really love being able to edit on the flight because it makes the flight go really quick. So that's why I usually try and organize the recordings around that. Like, I did our entire Baki Patreon review while I was on like 3 hours of sleep flying back from Las Vegas.
It turns out that like I'll go to see David one day and he's just all alone and he's been like making up all these friends and he's never gone to a party and just, oh no, that's me. Anyway.
Aww. Let's get into God, that's so depressing. Just like this chapter. So anyway, let's hear the plot summary for
Chapter 168. Oh my god, this title. Kiss, love, sperm. Oh my god. All right. Yoru is kind of surprised and grossed out that her hand is covered in sperm. And after wiping it on the ground, insists to Denji that she only kissed him because it felt good. And then she kisses him again. A confused Denji asks her if she likes him, to which Yoru replies, no, she doesn't like him. No, but the other her does, and her feelings flowed into her, which I don't think made any sense to him. I think that just left him more confused, because, like, keep in mind, from Denji's point of view, this girl just randomly said that there's another her. Like, he has no frame of reference that Aza and Yoru are two different minds inhabiting the same body. It is bizarre to him. Yoru then says she's hungry and walks away, leaving Dennis sulking on the ground. Popcorn, David.
While she's walking away, Asa mentally runs towards her and slams Yoru's head into the wall, demanding to know why she kissed him. No one wants to address that she also gave him a handjob, but Yoru says that she only wanted to confirm that they'd kissed before, and Asa punches her in the face because he'll think she's a slut now. Denji and Asa get on the train with their mouths agape, and also Fami is there too as they travel to their destination, Death by Sushi. Was that Fami? I thought that was just like a random girl because the hair seemed too long.
It was Fami. If you look from the side, she has like those earrings.
Oh, okay.
That Fami usually has.
That makes sense. And then, Jordan, why do you think this week's chapter was a 10 out of 10?
This was great. I really like this chapter. First of all, I think it is so interesting to see Yoru kind of experiencing Asa's feelings and like not knowing what the fuck to do with asexuality. Like having a, not asexuality as in having and experiencing sexuality. Like she is not used to it. She does not know like what the fuck is going on, basically, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, your Asa definitely has a very sheltered life.
Yeah, and it's like, it kind of created this, like, storm where, like, Asa would never do that, and Yoru would never want to do that. But Asa would want to do that, and Yoru has the confidence to do it, so it created this situation.
It really is interesting how they're becoming more similar in personality. It really questions, like, is Yoru now more a split personality rather than being a completely different person?
Also, Asa was violent towards Yoru in this chapter.
Oh, Asa was like tired of this shit. It's kind of interesting how she only has one arm, because I wonder how different it would have been if they would have fought each other instead of being like so one-sided.
Yeah, well, but it's. I also think it's really interesting how there was that one panel that showed Asa running up to Yoru, like kind of out of her body, like she's, which, you know, it kind of makes sense. She was like physically not in control of her body for a little while, and she just ran up and like punched her, and it was like a really interesting way to show that. Also,
yeah, just, hey man, you can't fuck around with that.
Also, nobody wants to mention the hand job.
God, yeah.
She's like,
I can't believe Sperm is in the name of the title.
She's like, well, why did you kiss him? And it's like, Asa, she did more than that.
Yeah, she did handy stuff.
She became fucked up, if you know what I mean.
I have a really shitty nickname for them.
I saw that. You want to say it?
Yoru and Asa are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. and Mrs. Hyde. I was fuck. Okay, yeah, I know it was shitty. Fuck off, Jordan.
So I've been seeing people on the subreddit talk about how, oh, death by sushi. Death? Like the death devil?
Yeah, that's not subtle, is it?
It's not subtle. When I first saw it, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was like a weird reference to Death by Snoo Snoo.
No.
No.
Man, that episode has not aged well.
No, it has not. I think that this was like a good way to follow up that chapter. First of all, feels so bad for Denji. Like, he is so confused. He is more confused than he was the previous chapter. He just has no clue what the fuck is happening. Like,
it's like he was so confused. He wasn't even phased when Yoru started talking about a second person in her body. But his Chainsaw Man, I mean, he knows about Fiend, so he's like, oh, whatever. So we'll see if it's like he already knew, or it's just so unfazing.
I feel like that was just another thing to throw on the heap. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He would have been phased if the other stuff didn't just happen. But yeah. God, the scene where Denji is just like, he's got his like head in his arms and he's just like trying to recover. God, poor guy. Fuck.
I also love the alleyway feels like such a liminal space. Like it seems like almost endless the way that it's drawn. And it's just like alleyways always seem to be like a very powerful motif in Fujimoto's work.
Yeah. By the way, that is motif.
I've heard it that way.
No, you haven't.
Yeah. But yeah, also, where the fuck is everyone else? It's not like they've left. They just took a sidestep for a minute to cut his dick off.
I mean, that's true. I'm not sure. Maybe there's somewhere else on the train, which the train sort of doesn't make sense how it's laid out.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm totally imagining they're gonna go eat sushi and like everyone's like, ooh, sushi, this is so fun. And yeah, maybe I guess that's famine. She's just eating fistfuls of sushi like she ate spaghetti, and Denji is just so catonic the entire next chapter.
Yeah. No, it's I fucking hate that it's gonna be another 2 weeks.
Right?
God damn it, Fujimoto.
Fucking Fujimoto, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Dude Rocks pointed out that, yeah, in that final panel when they're sitting on the train, yeah, the other people are on there too.
So that is them. I couldn't tell. It just looked kind of vague. Like I thought he would have more distinctively drawn them. Like, I don't know.
I think the idea was you're not supposed to be looking at them. You're supposed to be looking at Denji. But like, yeah, that policeman's hat or whatever the fuck it was, I think it's pretty clear that that's that one dude.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. It's also interesting, Yoru is losing control to Asa, which I thought isn't possible. So I wonder what's happening. Maybe Yoru is slowly, like I said, they're slowly merging into one person over time. So I think it's funny that they're eating sushi because Fujimoto is definitely cooking.
It's true. It's true. Oh man. Also, like, this brings up another question which we hadn't talked about in a bit. Also, Luffy0321, I know that you believe that you made that joke first, but I read David's notes and he had already made that joke before you did. So I'm just sticking up for David here.
Thank you.
No, it brings up something that we haven't talked about in a little bit, which who can see Yoru's scars? And like,
you know what? As far as I'm aware, no one can.
I think Yoshida did at one point, but like, yeah, I mean, I imagine it isn't like Denji's looking at her and then suddenly she has scars and then they go away, right? By the way, animating her scars is going to be really fucking hard. They're going to have to make some kind of like decision with what to do there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one last thing is I like how, so people think it was an art error. I genuinely think it was also swapped back for like 5 seconds. It was like, saw the cum on her hand, was like, what the fuck, and swap back to Yoru because it was Yoru again at the start of this chapter.
If you look at the previous chapter, it was Asa with no scar and she had Yoru's eyes, I'm pretty sure. So I think that was supposed to be both of them, kind of.
Or just Fujimoto forgot to draw his scars, which I think he's done before.
I feel like that's not the case. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Fine.
Also because, I don't know, I think it's a lot more interesting if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
Let me look at it one more time. Yeah, no, I was confused as well. If you listen to my previous plot description, I said that Asa had snapped back to reality.
Yeah, I think most people thought that was Asa at the very end.
Yeah.
But now it's more ambiguous because of how quickly it became Yoru again.
And also because she has Yoru's eyes.
Jordan, I think that's all I had to add.
Yep.
I want to say, Jordan, thank you so much for all of your hard work on the show and everything you do.
Thank you so much, David, for everything that you do and all the hard work that you put in. I love you, baby.
I love you too. You can find us on Twitter at Shonen Flopcast, Tumblr Shonen-Flop, and our website shonenflop.com. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcast. Props to Shannon for the awesome cover art. Find her online at illuminyatea. Just a reminder, you can join us recording every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern when there's a new chapter out. Find a link to it in the show notes or on our site. Stay tuned for Monday as we give our full thoughts on Mama Yu Yu featuring the series' official translator, David Evelyn.
Hell yeah.
I also want to say we just recorded our Shonen Drop where Jordan and I talked about the live action cast if someone was to make a Chainsaw Man movie. That was a lot of fun. We had exactly one character that both of us said the same actor.
It was pretty funny that was the one we overlapped on.
So come join us on the Patreon and listen to our latest Shonen Drop where we discuss that.
We got to talk about all of the actors that me and David don't know that are working today.
Unironically, my favorite part was the casting of Rize, where I really wanted Nina Dobrev, but she's 10 years too old. So what I actually did was I was researching her, and I actually found someone who played her younger sister.
David, oh my God, I'm looking at the clock, and it looks like the Chainsaw Minute has passed.
Bye.
Bye. It took me a second to pick up on what you were doing there.